So, how exactly do you make $1 million drop shipping in 2024? Well, I'm going to show you exactly the exact steps that you need to take and just reveal all of the source. Now, if this is the first time ever coming across one of my videos, then my name is Harry, aka the Beast of Ecom. I've been dropshipping for about 6-7 years now. I've done over $10 million in sales across multiple different stores, multiple different countries, different geos, different locations, and I'm still doing it to this day. Okay, it's not something which I previously used to do in the past, and now I'm doing something else. This is something that I actually still do to this very day, and still getting great results. So I'll throw up some screenshots just so you can see that that is true. But if you need more proof, then obviously just go through my YouTube. Everything is documented. You can see all of that proof on my YouTube channel. So with that out the way, let me just jump straight into the source, because I want to give you the raw, uncut value that you need to take first and foremost and have success. And I'm seeing a lot of these long form yap sessions online. They make my life a hell of a lot more easier, and I don't have to try and warp the watch time and the thumbnails and send it off to an editor and all of that stuff. So let's just jump straight into it. Okay, now when it comes to dropshipping, there is three main pillars that you need to get done correctly and that you need to align. And most newbies, when they come into the game of dropshipping, they first and foremost miss or get one of these three things wrong. And that's why they never ultimately have success. So I'm going to cover each one of these pillars and go into a little bit of depth into all three of these. So by the end of this video, you will have the exact steps and the principles that you need, and also the action points that you need and frameworks that you can take and apply to your business and ultimately make $1 million this year dropshipping. So what are these three things? That's probably the question that you have at this moment in time. Well, the first thing, okay, is a store. Okay, there's store, there's products, offers, and then the final thing is traffic. So I'm going to break down each three things. So first and foremost, the store. Now, this just isn't any store. You need a store that is going to turn cold visitors into buyers, because let's face it, if you have a dropshipping store, 9 times out of 10 you don't have any brand awareness, you don't have influencers talking about your store, you're literally targeting people online when they're scrolling through their feeds. So you need to be able to build a store that instills trust, okay, with a good offer that gets someone to literally pull out their credit card or PayPal or whatever it may be and give you money. It's easier said than done, but I'm going to break it down exactly how you should do it. Then ultimately there is products which are already selling and in demand. Pair that with a great offer. And then the final thing is traffic. And there's multiple different traffic sources. I'll talk about the one that I personally use and how I use it and how to get the best out of it. But there's Facebook ads, Google ads, Pinterest ads, there's organic, whatever it is you want to use. You need to get people to your store, which is ultimately traffic, right? So let's start with store. Now, there's previously, when it comes to dropshipping, there was previously there still is 3 types of different stores that you could use. And they are the wrong type of ways to dropship in 2024. And I'll explain what I personally use and the best way for any beginner to start dropshipping in terms of the type of store they need to start and open. So you previously used to have like a general store. They used to work really well in 2017. I made a ton of money with general stores back in 2017, 2018, but they sell literally everything. So, they're kind of like the Amazon, but in 2024, they look spammy, because who in the right mind is buying from the store, which sells baby products, sport products, health products, beauty products, pet products, all in the same store? It just looks totally trash. Okay. So that's why I don't use general stores, but they do give you flexibility. Now, the second type of store that you had was a niche store. Now, these are still great to use, but they're awful for beginners, and I'll explain why. The reason why they're awful for beginners is because as a beginner, first and foremost, you're going to spend ages trying to find the perfect niche, and the perfect niche doesn't exist. You can make $1 million in any niche, but as a beginner, because I know what it's like to be a beginner and I help coach loads of beginners, they struggle to try and pick that one niche. Now, on top of that, when they do pick their niche, what it does is it pigeonholes you into that niche, meaning if you just select beauty, then you can only really sell beauty products. And as a newbie, you want to have the flexibility to be able to test multiple different products and be as nimble as possible. So there's the niche store, but they're still great if you're an intermediate person. Now, the final and the worst one, okay, is a one product store. And one product store is kind of, it says it in the name, but you only sell one specific product. Now, as a beginner, these are the worst type of stores for you to start as a beginner if you want to get into dropshipping. Reason being is because if you are only, first and foremost, as a beginner, you are not going to be good at product selection. So again, the first 3-5 products that you test out are not going to work anyway. But if you're building an entire store around one specific product and it doesn't work, then you have to rebuild the whole store from scratch, which is a nightmare. It wastes tons of time and is the most inefficient way to start dropshipping, right? But they do have good high converting like results when you do have something which works, when you do have something which works. But again, getting to that point as a beginner is a lot harder and, to do. So out of all of those 3 ways, what is the best way to start dropshipping? Well, it's a new way that I like to call a concept dropshipping store. Now, a concept dropshipping store basically takes the best of all 3 of those things. So first and foremost, the concept is literally just there to prove the concept of the product, right? You don't need tons of products on your store. You only need to be testing a few products. So the name of the concept store is going to mean absolutely nothing at all. This is the easiest way I can explain it. So let's say, for example, Lorenzo or, something like along the lines of Saba. These names mean absolutely nothing, but they can be applied to any product. Now think of it this way. If you was an alien and you came to, Earth, and I was to say to you, hey, do you know what Balenciaga, Bose, and Apple sell? 9 times out of 10, you're going to have no idea at all because, again, the names mean pretty much nothing. So you're building a store, a concept store, which means the name itself means nothing, but it can be branded to any product. Now, what you're also going to do is you're going to create what I like to call landing pages. You can do this just using the Sense theme. It's a theme that I personally like to use. And you can build out custom templates, okay? And when you build out a custom template, you can make so many different edits and only apply that template to a specific product. Again, that way you look like the brand owner of the product. Now you can test out different products using this, and if the product doesn't work, then you can literally just hide it from the store, okay? Or you can delete it if you want to, just unarchive it or make it into a draft, and that way it's not on the store. And then that way, when you have something which works, you can then either turn it into a niche store if you want to, or just turn it into a one product store if you want to. So it gives you the best, a concept dropshipping store gives you the best of all of those things. You're going to get a high conversion value. You're going to get a high conversion rate. You're going to be able to have that flexibility. And of course, you can go into any sort of niche. Now, if it sounds confusing, again, it's totally fine. I don't expect some people to get it. But if you want me to give you an example and show you of what a concept store looks like, then just comment down below and I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll drop another video going over, how to actually build a high converting store. Okay. Now, moving forward from that, okay, the most important part is obviously the product page. And a lot of people mess up with their product pages. And if you are good at 2 things, and that is reverse engineering and understanding patterns, you will be able to have success. And you just look at other brands. You always want to emulate the bigger brands rather than emulate other dropshippers, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the actual framework that I like to use and the things that you need to have on your product page in order to turn cold visitors into buyers, right? So I like to follow a framework. You've probably heard of AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, and action. I like to make a little bit of a tweak of that. So first and foremost, there's attention, interest, desire, FAQs, guarantee, and then an action. So if your product page and Shopify product page follows that, which I'm about to break down, you will more than likely have a better success than just randomly throwing some copyright in on your product page. So let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, attention. Well, when it comes to attention, okay, without attention, you cannot sell anything. Plain and simple. Without attention, you cannot sell anything. And if there's anything that you take away from this video, I want you to take away that. Without attention, you cannot sell anything. And that goes for your product. It goes for your ads, especially your ads, because if you're not capturing anyone's attention, and attention spans nowadays are like 3 seconds, then people are just going to move on because people's brains are absolutely fried nowadays. So attention. So how can you capture attention on someone's product page, on your product page? First and foremost, you need to have great looking images, and not just any images. You can take images from AliExpress or wherever it may be and put them on a Shopify store, but they are not going to have a massive impact. So what I personally like to do and what I advise you to do is spend some time actually looking at other brands. And what most other brands, bigger brands especially, do is they put the benefits and the main benefits of the product, okay, on the actual images. So for example, if you're selling a back related product and you can do it from home, you'll put like, you can actually, you'll have an image of someone using it at home, and then maybe they pull it into Canva and Photoshop and something along the lines of that, and actually add on some icons and all those kind of things that you can actually do. You can have compare images. Again, going back to a back related product, most people, if they're buying a back related product, they have tried loads of different other solutions. So if you have a compare image on the top saying this is your product and these are the other solutions and why they're all inferior and why yours is superior, then again, it's very powerful to have that at the top. Okay. And if you want an example of this, just go to Amazon. 9 times out of 10, if you go to Amazon, what you do, you look at all of the images, all of the information about the product is in the images in a nice stylistic and presented way. You look at the price, you look at the reviews, you click, you buy something. Now, the important part of this, what I like to stress about the images, is because that most people are not going to scroll down and even read any of your copy. Trust me, I've installed heat maps and all this kind of stuff, and it's proven that 90% of people will just stay at the top and they'll just read what is called above the fold, which is everything that people see before they actually scroll. It's why above the fold is so important. Okay. So make sure that you have images, and you can have about 7 to 8 images, but make sure they're quality images, right? And put as much effort as you can into those images. That's the first thing. Second thing is having a nice attention, what I like to call an attention title. So if your name of the product is, something to do with the back, then I like to put like a little hyphen and then name it, solve back pain in 24 hours. That's a little bit, OTT, but something along the lines of say goodbye to back pain in 7 days, something along the lines of that. And that way, again, if you just edit your product title, that way then pretty much you've got that in the title, and it will show again above the fold. Another great thing. Finally, on the attention thing is making sure that obviously you again have social proof, so stars, and you could do that with any app, and then benefit driven bullet points. Another important thing. So again, on most big brands, you'll see that they'll have, whatever the benefits, the main 5 benefits or 3 benefits of the product, they will be above the fold, right? Solves back pain in, instantly gets rid of back pain, or you can use it from home anywhere, or if it's portable or whatever it may be, whatever the benefits are. Okay, that's the first part, attention. Second thing is interest. Now when it comes to interest, your product itself should have the rule of one, and the rule of one is the overarching idea of whatever it is the product does. So for a back related product, the overarching rule of one is getting rid of the back pain, but within that, the product itself is going to have its benefits, and you just want to take the main top 4 to 5 benefits, probably 3 to 4. I would say 3 to 4. Most of the time I put 3 or 4 benefits, and just break them down into sections. And when I say sections, usually it's just like an image, text about, whatever the benefit is. Again, same thing, and you can just mirror them that way. Now, once you've actually got people interested in a product, then you want to inspire their desire. And people desire what other people want. I'll give you an example of this. If you are, again, going back to Amazon, 9 times out of 10, if you are trying to find a product, okay, that solves a certain specific pain point, you will look at the reviews. And if that product has solved someone else's problem, then you're going to desire that product. You're going to desire that product because it's helped them out in the situation that you are currently in. So testimonials is a big thing when it comes to getting people to desire your product. So I like to call them power testimonials, and I like to have 3. Again, you can do this on most themes. Okay, just have boom, 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 each different theme, testimonial, and use them what I like to call power testimonials. Now, power testimonials are something that it's like the transformation. So again, if you're selling something, especially if you're solving a problem, it's their life was like X, which is the pain. Then it's ultimately they discovered the product. And then obviously at the end of the testimonial, it is how it's helped solve that pain. And when you have 3 of those, sometimes on different angles, they work extremely well. So again, that's what you want to do. Now, Next, underneath that, again, I'm paraphrasing all of this. Again, if you want me to do a video on like what a high converting product page would look like, let me know in the comments down below, and I could definitely, do some screen share or drop another video, and we'll just go over, some high converting product pages. Okay. Now, then moving forward from that, you need to have FAQs. And FAQs will guarantee, depending on how your product page is, you can switch these if you want to, but most of the time, FAQs is going to be just, again, frequently asked questions that people have about the product. And you can do this on most themes when you create the template. And again, for reference, if you want to know, most of the time you can come up with these off the top of your head, but you can go to Amazon and have a look at the reviews of, 3 or 5 different products which solve the same pain point as yours. Maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe it's, well, in the ideal world, they would be exactly the same. And you'll find common people asking about questions. You just take those and put them on a product page so that people don't have to navigate away, and you are ultimately answering their question on there, because people are ultimately going to be a little bit skeptical anyway. But if you can answer those questions on the page, then fantastic and great. Now, moving forward from that, also on that point, actually, in terms of FAQs, you want to make sure that you have 2 questions on there. First and foremost, you say that there's a guarantee, risk-free guarantee, and underneath that, ultimately, when the product is going to arrive. That's another thing, okay? Put that on there. Now, a guarantee, you also want to have a guarantee on your product page as well, always, because again, as a dropshipping store, it's cold traffic. People don't know, you don't have the luxury of any celebrity endorsements or anything like that. So you have to make sure that you have a guarantee on there, which alleviates any potential friction that people may have before giving you money, pulling out their card. The most common one ultimately is just 30-day money back guarantee, and you can find loads of badges online to say that it's 30-day money back guarantee. Another good thing that you can do sometimes is, depending on the product, you can also put like 60 days or sometimes 90 days, depending on ultimately the product. But 30 days just works well anyway. Now, the final point is action. And this is something that I always like to do. So after everything and everyone's gone through the whole page, I like to reiterate what the offer is and give people a call to action, because you never want to assume that people know what to do next, even though it's kind of like basic that they need to click the add to cart button. So again, I like to state at the bottom, click the add to cart button to get yours now with, again, the offer. So whatever the top images that you had at the top, you can put those in there. You can also put one in there. And again, with those benefit points in there and the price, if you want to, you can put that at the bottom. But in the most part, that is how I set out a high converting product page. It works extremely well. And on average, most conversion rate is around about 2% on most stores. Most of my stores sit at around about anything of a 3.5 to a 4 most of the time, just utilizing the frameworks that I've literally just mentioned. So if you take what I've just said and apply it to your business, these little small things to your product page, then most of the time you will have a higher conversion. And that's ultimately all that matters. That's something that you can actually control. Now, the second point, okay, moving on to how to actually have success in dropshipping in 2024 is products. And this is one of the most things that a lot of people fail. Like they struggle with this. I've done loads of different polls on my social media telling people, asking, what are you struggling with the most? What is it you are finding the most difficult? And every time, either between building a website, running ads, and finding products, is always 9 times out of 10 people struggle with finding winning products. And I can understand why, and most of the time, the reason why that is because they're not following a framework. They don't have a system, a repeatable system and framework that they run products through. They just ultimately find something that is already selling for someone else, or something that they like the look of, try and throw some money at it, and ultimately that's how they end up just burning tons of money, and what I like to call spam testing. And spam testing is the most surefire way to burn through a ton of money and go broke. So how do you solve that? Well, you want to apply a framework to your thinking. I'm going to share my exact framework that I use. So first and foremost, it's kind of like, I think it's 5 steps or 4 steps. Okay. First and foremost, you want to sell something which is already selling. Now, a lot of people always say, oh, is it going to be saturated? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, saturation 9 times out of 10 is a myth. You can always come up with a new angle and brand something in a different way. So get the whole, other people are selling it mentality that, if someone's already selling it, or there's 3 guys already selling it, it means that I can't sell it because, someone's already seen it. Get that out of your mind. The way I see things and the way you need to see things is like this. If people are already selling the product, then people are making money. If people are making money, then I can make money. You can make money, because it's proven that, again, someone's already selling it. Like, the market wants this product. That's what you need to get into your head. And this is one of the biggest things that I see with a lot of newbies, especially they try and find the needle in the haystack, the product that no one else is selling, and then they just end up just testing a bunch of random products and never make any money. So first and foremost, always sell something that is already selling. Now, how do you know if something is already selling? Well, 2 things. First and foremost, you can either look on spy tools to see the engagement of the ad. Now, the more engagement that a Facebook ad has or a TikTok ad has, whether it be views, likes, shares, all that kind of stuff, then 9 times out of 10, it's making some money. Now, the free way is just using something called Facebook Ads Library. And you can go into Facebook Ads Library and type in keywords. This is one of the most favorite ways how I personally like to find winning products. I'll just go into Facebook Ads Library. I'll type in keywords like 50% off, sale ends soon in quotes, or, sale ends soon and then other quotes 50% off, or specific dogs, pets if I'm looking for a specific type of product, or pain, neck, something along the lines of those if I want to find, again, specific products and get a little bit more niche. And then those keywords that are being used by other dropshippers will pull up ads. And if I then click on their page and look at their page transparency, you can see, first and foremost, all of their ads that they are currently running. And then obviously you just want to filter on their active ads, right? Because that's what they're currently running. And if the more active ads that they have, then the more they're doing creative testing, which is a good thing, and the more they're probably scaling, right? So that's the first thing. The more ads that they're running on that page, the better. And another thing that you can do is scroll all the way down to the bottom and find out how long has the ad been running, because in Facebook Ads Library, it will tell you that as well. So if you know that, okay, an ad's been running for 6 months now, and they've got 170 ads running, they are making some money, right? And if they are making some money, then great. That's a good thing. That's a good sign. That means that, again, there's an opportunity for you to make some money, because number one, the product is already selling. That's the first thing. Second thing is identifying what type of product you are selling. So a winning product will fall into generally 2 categories. It will first and foremost either solve a problem, or alternatively, it will be something which is wow or cool or unique, which doesn't exactly solve a problem, but it just has that effect. Let's say, for example, a lot of the products that are sold on TikTok fall into that category, like, fidget spinners and kids' toys and stuff like that. They don't solve a problem, but they're just like, oh, damn, that's pretty cool. I might just purchase it. Now, good products will fall into both, whereby they solve a problem and they have that wow and unique effect on people. So if you can find those and identify what those 2 things are, whether they fall into 1 or 2, then great. That's the second thing. The third thing is, can you source it? Now, there's a lot of products out there that you may see other people selling or other brands selling, but you just cannot source it. It's not on AliExpress. It's not on Alibaba. You just can't find it. Don't waste your time trying to go down the rabbit hole of trying to find a product. If it's not on one of those main things, then just move on, right? Now, the fourth thing, so we've got, first and foremost, it's already selling. Then we have, what type of product is it? Then can you source it? And the fourth, one of the most important parts is there enough margin in the product? And a lot of people neglect, especially newbies, they neglect this part, or they try and test out a product which was never going to make any money at scale anyway. Because you got to remember, when you start to spend money on ads, your cost per acquisition, so the cost that it takes you to acquire a customer, is going to increase as you spend more money, because it's harder for the platforms to find, you're asking Facebook to, find me more customers in a shorter period, in the same period of time. So ultimately your costs are going to rise anyway, right? So you need to be able to factor those in. Now, the main rule of thumb is this: you need to make sure that you can at least 3 to 5x the cost it costs you to purchase the product. Basic example, if it costs you $10, right? £10, $10, whatever it may be, to buy and ship the product to the customer, then you need to be selling this product on your store for at least $30 to $50. Ideally, in the sweet spot, $40. At the high point, obviously $50. And obviously the price is going to come down to what you think you can get it, what you think you can, sell it for, and obviously what other people are selling it for. But you need to make sure that you're at least 3x in the cost of goods at a minimum. Okay. Now, if you're selling in the US, 9 times out of 10, I like to make sure that the product itself is over $30 because, cost to sell and advertise in the United States are a little bit higher. But on a rule of thumb, always make sure that you can, 3x it. Also, the gross margin. I personally like to find products that have a 65% gross margin or more. And gross margin is simply what you're selling it for minus what the cost of goods is, pretty much. Okay. And you can work it out by a percentage. Now, the final point of this framework is there existing content that you can use to get your ads up and running? Okay. So when it comes to selling a product and testing a product, you're going to be using content online. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't steal. Look, listen to me. If you are dropshipping and you are testing products and you are nimble and you want that flexibility, you have to use existing content which is already online. So there's places like TikTok, you can do YouTube search, you can use other competitors' ads and all this kind of stuff, but you are only essentially borrowing this stuff just to validate if the product always works, if the product is working or not. It makes zero sense at all, okay? Finding a product online, buying it from Amazon, shipping it to your house, shooting some content by yourself and all that kind of stuff for the product not to work out. First thing is find existing content, okay? Bunch of different clips from different sources. You can then put it into CapCut, and I'll talk about ads and stuff like that next, but put it into CapCut, create some video ads, job done. But you want to make sure that there is a significant amount of existing content online. If there's only one video and every single person is using that one video, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to perform that great. Whereas if there are multiple different videos online, okay, using TikTok and just searching for the name of the product, or on Facebook, wherever it may be, then you can chop and change all of this stuff and use stuff from multiple different videos, click them together and create your own video ad. Now, once something which is working, then what you do is ultimately then you can get it shipped to yourself. Shoot your own content. Use your parent, your sister, your girlfriend, whatever it may be, to just replicate the stuff which is already working. And then once you've got custom content, that enables for the maximum amount of scale because no one else has then got that content. Only you have that content and it's unique to the platform. Okay, so that's the main thing, making sure that there's obviously existing content. Now, when I'm going through that list, at every single point, if I find something online, I'm running it through that criteria. If it ticks all of those boxes, then it makes sense to test that product out. If it doesn't, at any point, let's say, for example, you go all the way down and it doesn't have, you can't, the prices just don't make sense. Like you can't 3x it. You can only, the margins just are not there. Then again, find another product. There are absolutely hundreds and thousands and millions of different products out there that you can sell. Don't get caught up on selling something just because you see someone else selling it. You don't know if they're the manufacturer, they're some Chinese dropshipper, or they've got special connections, special links, whatever it may be. Don't focus on any of that. Just focus on that criteria, and trust me, you will first and foremost save a lot of money testing out stuff that was never going to work from the start, and you will only be testing out stuff that has the highest chance of success. Okay, so that's the main thing, and that's the main product finding. Now, there's tons of different ways you can do product research. There's, I'm not really going to go too much into that in terms of how to find and where to find winning products. The main thing is that criteria. Okay, first and foremost, but Facebook Ads Library is one of the main things that I like to use as a free tool to find winning products. TikTok Creative Center, there's Spy Tools, Manea, Winning Hunter, all these kind of things. And if you want me to do a video on live product research, like actually doing what I just spoke about in an actual video, just screen sharing and going through the process of why I would sell this, why I wouldn't sell this, then again, just let me know in the comments, and I will just do a whole video showing you guys doing some live product research. Okay. So that's that. Now, the final point of this section, of the whole equation of how you can make $1 million drop shipping this year in 2024 is traffic. Okay. Now, traffic, again, like I mentioned, there's many different ways you can do traffic. There is paid and there's free. Most of the time there's either free or there's paid. But in terms of the paid side of things, there's many different platforms. There's Facebook ads, there's Google ads, TikTok ads, and Facebook and Google are the main ones that most people you will find content online talking about, especially when it comes to drop shipping. You will find it on those two. Now, the main thing is both of those work. Facebook ads work and TikTok ads work. I've personally spent over $5 million on Facebook ads over the years. I've seen every single change that has been made on that platform since 2016, okay, 2017, every single change. And trust me, there's been a lot. But ultimately, every single year, you just have to get a little bit better, right? And I'm going to give you the main core principles rather than like strategies and ABOs and CBOs and cost caps and all this kind of stuff, because it all works, right? Every single strategy works. Going broad, interest, all like it all works, but not everything will work for you. The main thing is ultimately creatives, which again, I'll talk about in a moment in time. But I personally just like to use Facebook ads. Now, again, there's Facebook ads, there's TikTok ads. Just pick one. Pick one of those strategies. Pick one platform and stick to it. They both work. So again, if you follow my content, then I like to teach Facebook ads. Reason being is because I think the algorithm is the best. I think when you have something which works, is extremely stable and easier to scale. But again, like I mentioned, TikTok works, and there's a lot of gurus online that will teach you TikTok, drop shipping. So Facebook ads. But in terms of that, the actual platforms itself, you need what? You need creatives, okay? The actual ad itself. And most creatives will follow a framework, which again, I'm actually just going to give you the framework of what has worked extremely well for me and what is still working for me well to this day. So the main thing with a creative, right? And for those who may be wondering, again, I'm going to talk to someone who has no experience at all. A creative is basically what someone sees in their feed. When you're scrolling and you see an advert and it says sponsored or, sponsored by, that is the creative. The creative ultimately is made up, again, of thumbnail, the actual video content itself or the image, and ad copy, which is the text above and, below the actual advert itself. So that's ultimately a creative. Now, people's attention span has been absolutely decimated due to social media. So you literally, again, without attention, you cannot sell anything. So the first 3 seconds of the video is the most important. Absolutely the most important. And if you're looking at this at an 80-20 rule, okay, you want to put the most amount of effort into the first parts of the video, okay, especially on your creatives. So what is the framework that I personally like to use? Well, you have the hook, then you have which is again the first 3 to 5 seconds, and then you have ultimately introducing the product itself, and then you have, again, the actual benefits of the product. So what does it do? Again, don't talk about features. It's always the benefits. How does this product going to make this person's life better, right? And you can get really good at this by just taking the feature and then asking the question, why is this a good thing? So again, if you've got like a sat nav, which has, multiple different maps, why is this a good thing? Well, it's going to help you avoid traffic. Why is this a good thing? Well, you're going to get to your destination a hell of a lot more quicker. Why is this a good thing? Well, you're not going to miss, you're going to be able to, you're not going to miss any meetings or anything like that. You can just go down that rabbit hole and turn features into benefits. You have again, the top 3 or 5 of those in the actual video ad. And then finally, you want to talk about the actual social proof, okay? Social proof being, have you found some UGC or people talking about the actual product? 10,000 people actually purchased this product and have had, the greatest transformation. Or 10,000 happy customers. Now, this can be actual people talking about the product. Or, again, if you don't have that information or you don't have that content, then you can literally just create like an animation using Canva if you wanted to and put that in your video ad. Now, the final 2 things is a guarantee. So again, 30-day money back guarantee, alleviating any friction or scarcity. There's only X amount of things left, whatever it may be, stock, limited amount of stock left. And then final parts is ultimately going to be, again, call to action, which is, again, I personally most of the time just have a basic kind of slide which says get 50% off, 5 stars, with an arrow to say get yours here. That in itself, that framework there is, if your video follows that, then you will have success. And a lot of people are don't have most of those elements inside of their video. But like I mentioned, 80-20 rule here. You need to focus on those first 3 to 5 seconds. And you can get extremely good. One thing that I also do is I like to just literally, you can come up with 3 to 5 different videos, just switching out those first 3 seconds. Very easy to do, and CapCut makes this absolutely easy to do. You find all the videos, okay, that you want to use, run it into CapCut, click split scene, okay, click split scene, and it's just gonna split all of the video instantly by frame. And then again, you can just chop and change. Find a good looking 3 seconds to start off with, and when it comes to hook, right? There's two things. There's the visual, and then there's the caption. So the visual is, again, it has to be appealing. Most of the time, it's either going to be calling out the pain, or it's going to be a wow, unique thing that stops people's attention and be like a pattern interrupt, be like, whoa, what's going on here when they're using it, if they're using a product or something along the lines of that. And then the caption underneath that, you can switch out something to a different caption. Some hooks can be, 3 reasons why you need whatever the product is, or point of view, you just found the whatever the product is, or I finally found the secret to my acne or fixing my back pain. These are caption hooks, and you can switch caption hooks and visual hooks to create a bunch of different variations of creatives. And I literally done this myself. I personally have a video editor now who, again, we just come up with concepts, and when we have a concept, I just put it in Trello. He goes away and creates 3 different videos, 3 different hooks, okay? But he was backed up with some stuff. I literally just found a bunch of clips online, ran it in CapCut, and just with about 6 different caption hooks and 7 different, visual hooks, as soon as you got the main body of the video done, I could literally just create and knock out like 30 to 40 different video creatives just by switching out the caption hook and the visual hook, okay? Now, if you want me to do like a video on creatives, on how to create them and how to use CapCut and all that kind of stuff, because you can get really good. CapCut is amazing, by the way. It really shouldn't be free. I don't know how it's free, but you can come up with, scripts. It can do auto captions, all that kind of stuff very, very, very easily. So that's one thing, again, that you can do is just focus on those. And when you're doing creative testing and all that kind of stuff, just focus on that first 3 to 5 seconds, okay, and the angle of the actual product. But that's pretty much it, okay? You can use like 11 Labs for voiceovers, which is, again, another thing that I like to do, and coming up with, you can take scripts from other winning products and apply them to your actual product, the product that you're currently selling. Again, that's something else that I like to do. But creatives are the main thing. All of the strategy side of things, such as, test with 8 different interests and, make sure you do cost caps and only scale using CBOs. All of that stuff is just is wash, because without good creatives, you're not going to be able to scale anyway. Okay, so just focus on getting good at creating creatives, because your strategy, as soon as you got good creatives with a good product and a good offer, then no matter what strategy you use, it will work. Whether you're doing a CBO testing, whether you're doing ABO testing, or whatever it may be. Maybe I'll do a video on my actual testing strategy. If you want that, again, let me know in the comments, because again, it differs depending on which country I'm targeting. If I'm doing a larger country, or if I'm doing a smaller country. If you want me to do a video on that, then again, let me know, and I'll just do a video on that as well. But in terms of the whole process itself that I've mentioned, if you take what I've just spoke about in these small little nuggets in this video and apply it, I know it's kind of like fundamental stuff, base layer stuff, but if you take this stuff and apply it, then trust me, everything will just 10x in your business. And there's no reason why you can't make $1 million drop shipping in 2024 this year if you take this information and you actually apply it. But most importantly, if you apply it and, out of the gate, for some people, it's not going to just, just going to go from 0 to 1 overnight. Make sure you are always learning from your mistakes, because if you're not learning from your mistakes and you're making the same mistakes over and over again, then again, you just go around in this tireless loop of never making any money. But if you learn from your mistakes and understand where you may have gone wrong, or understand why something actually went right, why did that start working, and analyze and start giving yourself, creating this feedback loop, then again, over time, your efforts literally just compound. And that's what happens in this game. So hopefully you got some value from this video. We're at 40 minutes long. If you want me to do more long form yap sessions like this, then, let me know in the comments. Excuse my voice, because I've got a little bit of a cold as well. Make sure you subscribe as well. Hit the subscribe button. And yeah, hopefully I'll drop some more videos like this, because they just make it easier for me to put together. And they're just more raw and uncut. It feels just like I'm speaking to one of my boys. So yeah, hopefully you got some value from this video. Let me know in the comments of any questions or anything you want me to deep dive into, any YouTube video ideas. Again, let me know in the comments and I will try and put that together. But that is it for this video. Peace out. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.